Hey, my name is Supriya and I'm your podcast show host on the Holistic Business and Life Mastery podcast. In this week's episode, I'm sharing with you, a holistic wellness professional, 5 signs that you've leveled up. Why is this, you ask? Well, what you want to take away from this episode is 3 things. My intention is for you to listen to this so you can actually improve your business. Number 2 is you can bridge the gap between the spiritual to a practical way to handle what you're noticing that's happening. And number 3 is that you can plan for future changes to be made now so the transition is much smoother. Okay, so let's get started. Look, what does leveling up even mean, right? So much of us taught about mindset and skill set and all of that. But really, if you ask yourself, what comes to your mind when you think, yeah, I'm leveling up or I have leveled up? Now, you could probably answer it in so many ways, right? But here in Holistic Business Mastery and Your Business Breakthrough, we share with you a model called Logical Levels to show you what it means to actually level up. And looking at the bigger picture of things, what it really is a shift in identity. What does an identity mean to you? So an example of this is when I used to be a student of yoga and Ayurveda. Well, I was a student and I was shifting into a practitioner, and then I shifted into a teacher, and then I shifted into a wellness business owner, and on and on and on. Is that making sense? So this shifted identity means that our values, beliefs, our skills, and results change. And when we notice these things, then we go, well, there's some changes coming up because I need to shift into it more wholesomely, right? Now, is a journey linear? I would say from my experience, and probably if you look back at your journey, when you were a student to when you kind of had that moment of realization like, yes, this is the stuff I really want to do. It wasn't linear. It wasn't like, well, now I graduate and then I start. You probably started while you were graduating, didn't you? So my idea for you today is to actually listen to these 5 telltale signs and notice what changes you start to also take care of right now or plan for right away. Taking baby steps towards creating the next shift is going to help you shift quicker and more effortlessly without, breaking the whole thing that you've created, like breaking the system, breaking the stability, or you don't have to burn your bridges to be able to cross it, right? Or to be able to go to the other side. So that's what leveling up means when it comes to the actual doing it, right? Your results are your signs that, okay, I have shifted it. Now, when it comes to how, this is where you have to look at what you present to currently. Okay, so let's start with number 1. I want you to reflect on, okay, are you someone that can see now that there is a pattern in everything you do? There is a pattern that is emerging in your day-to-day affairs. Now, if you're a holistic professional like a yoga teacher, an Ayurveda practitioner, or an astrologer, or a Reiki healer, I am sure you are a big believer of patterns because you probably believe in cause and effect. Yeah, it's like a universal principle that what we sow, we reap. And just like that, that's how we coach as well. Okay, so nothing that we have right now is just by chance. It has been happening, developing like a seed. When you water it, it grows into the plant it was already meant to be. Now, can you see the pattern in your life. Maybe your relationships, maybe your vocation, your personal life, and your business. What's a pattern that you can now automate, right? That pattern, that's a good pattern. I should reword that to say, have you started noticing the good patterns by the results you're already creating by repeatedly doing things that are creating a good result? And what comes to mind for me here is, look, I get up in the morning and I put on a Marissa Peer's track, which is all about doing affirmations inside that state where you're still asleep and not really fully awake. It's happening for me every morning at 5 a.m. And magically, what tends to happen is during the day, my mind is actually clear to notice the results that are playing in that track. So one of the tracks that I play to myself is lovability, right? And that makes me aware of how I'm giving myself love. Okay. Now, that's producing a good result because it's so easy for a person like me or a person that is a high achiever or a high performer. They get super obsessed and focused on something, and that's all they see. They've got tunnel vision, and that is not a healthy way to live life, right? So look at your life and your business. How are all the good results happening? And can you see a pattern emerging there? If there is a pattern emerging there, how can you now simplify it even more? How can you now systemize it? Now, with my system, what happens is I have conditioned myself to do it in my sleep now, right? Somehow I have done it. I've done the play, right? So I set my alarm up and I'm already doing it on autopilot. That's one thing, right? That's my lifestyle related thing. Another system that I follow at work is every Thursday, I take all my sales calls. And one of the reasons is that Mondays and Tuesdays, I am with students. I'm giving. So Wednesday is my break day of talking. Okay. And I just rest. I decompress. And then Thursday, I'm there for clients. And that's how it works for me. It produces a good result because of that. Because in a sales call, as you know, it's about listening. It's about being there. And it's about really listening deeply to the client in front of you and just being there for them. And that takes energy, bandwidth, and also clarity of mind. So sit with yourself and notice what are the things that you're making happen right now through conscious effort and processes, and what is that pattern? Okay, and then can you now notice that pattern? If you can, that's a system to deliver a result. Something that you learn in our program is how to make inquiries or how to turn general inquiries into a sales call. Okay, and how to then maximize all opportunities that come your way to turn into sales calls, because otherwise, how will you get clients? And sales calls can be different for different businesses, right? You may not be selling something that needs chatting about. Maybe they can just do it online. Or you may be running a business where they come in and inquire. And that's a sales conversation. So let's move on, shall we? So I want you to become present to what patterns are you noticing, and are you noticing it? Because that is a faculty of yours that has awoken, that's letting you know that you have developed a skill of producing good results. Okay? Great. So, number 2, you now have the ability to talk to anyone. I was starting to talk about this a little bit earlier, that a sales call needs you to be present and listening, right? How do you know you have the ability to talk to anyone? And this is where a lot of people get this wrong. They say, oh yeah, I'm the friendliest person on earth. So what I'm saying to you is, it's not that you can talk a lot. It's about whether you are a good listener. Do you actually notice the other person and what they're sharing, and then have the ability to respond to what they're sharing? And this is a skill of listening. So I was just teaching this. I love teaching this stuff. If you don't know, I actually teach a speaking skills training, which is something I had been trained on, and that's how I know how to speak in platforms like this and on stages and things like that. But it's a skill to be able to talk to anyone and everyone. And the first thing you need to do is develop the art of listening. In fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, look up the episode, or I'll link the episode in the show notes and in this video to my video of listening. When you know how to listen, well, you can talk to anyone. Sometimes the person that is talking is not really wanting you to say much at all, but really just listen. The most effective conversations are that you deeply listen and you don't have the need to say, oh, me too, and I have done it too. In fact, I've done something better. Okay? And if you have developed that, if you are noticing yourself that you are having more conversations than ever before with a variety of people, then you have leveled up. And this is actually a skill set of a leader. It's a very good skill set to have as a holistic professional with their clients. This applies in personal relationships. This applies in friendships. This applies in business partnerships. So when you notice that you are having conversations with more people than ever before, okay, and this number will increase, by the way, then you have leveled up your skill of listening. And this goes hand in hand. Remember, I mentioned whatever I share today will be, yes, the soft skill or the spirituality, the spiritual takeaway, but you are bridging the gap to how it translates into a business activity or a business skill or a business, upgrade. And this really means that you are ready for a sales system. If you don't already have one, you being a good listener means now you are ready for a bespoke, personalized sales system. I'm going to be honest with you. Not all my clients succeed, and unfortunately, that's what happens when skill set is missing. But it's something that as an entrepreneur, you're constantly on the journey of upgrading your skill set. This leveling up means you're not just leveling up in your thoughts. You're actually leveling up in your emotions, in your actions and skill set, developing your tool set. And it just doesn't keep building, you're actually utilizing them. You just don't go and collect certificates. So sales system will be something suited to you because that is something that is going to help you monetize your newly developed, upgraded communication skill. That is listening. So the more you can listen, the more people you can have conversations with, the more you're going to be able to make offers, and the more you're going to get yeses to your programs or offers. Okay, so I know for me, I was when in the beginning I used to think, oh, but I am a yogi. I don't want to deal with so many people. I'm not a small talker. You don't have to do small talk or anything. Just as I said, you have to become curious about the other person, take deep interest. You have to have the bandwidth. And the system that I created around that is specific days to handle those queries and calls and things like that. It doesn't mean that I'm not doing it while I'm out and about, but still, I can still send a query or a sales call that I receive on Monday. I can schedule it on Thursday because that's my energy. I'm managing that energy, right? Okay, so number 3. Let's move to number 3. You are being more objective, being less emotion driven and being more objective. If you're noticing yourself, noticing your numbers and not freaking out, listen, I should rephrase that. Freaking out being that, your mind is going to go far out, again, or it's going to start whinging, or you're going to have those fear thoughts. That's fine. You're not in trouble. However, you're still giving more importance to the statistics, to the metrics. I remember talking about this a few, perhaps last week or the week before, the episodes that I've been talking about, the metrics, the key metrics. The baseline is go ahead and look at how many inquiries you get, how many conversations you've had, and how many customers you've enrolled. It's just the way you do your health check for your business's performance. And the quicker you become objective about these statistics, the higher your results will be. One of my learnings in the last 5-6 years is that wherever your attention goes, it appreciates, or energy flows where attention goes. Meaning that if I don't pay attention to something, it's not receiving any energy. So if I want to get better at business, I have to pay attention to my business. If I want to have better health, I have to pay attention to my health. And the same principle applies here. And so if you're noticing yourself being more objective within your business, that you are looking at, the statistics of how many people contacted you or how many people responded to your post, not by likes, but really, did you give them something to do in your post? Did they do it? If not, that's also information. And in Holistic Business Mastery School, we teach you how to do your messaging, how to do your marketing, right? To create interest, to create that attraction, to help people contact you, enable them to contact you. But first you have to start paying attention, start appreciating that you are now objective, not so emotionally driven. That an emotional person that is not objective acts like, it'll get better soon. Right? Spiritualizing it. How I know this is I've done it. I see clients do it. I see others do it. I posted something on LinkedIn the other day about a person that attended my free training, ended up landing a couple of well-paying clients, an extra $500 a week, and then lost both clients and then lost the mojo to keep running a business. Because at first, that identity of like just going out and trying new things is sort of a student mindset. So the identity of someone that's just having a go is a beginner's identity. it's a business activity. So if we don't develop a plan to transition into the business owner's identity, then we are going to become victims of bad experiences, making meaning of it to be that, oh, I'm not good enough, and therefore I'm not going to go any further. And this happens to many holistic wellness professionals in the first year of their, business. And so a lot of them fall off the road because they don't get the support that they need. They don't go and, link up with people like myself and others. And they don't go and find their real tribe because they have not really looked at themselves. So the emotions are driving their daily decisions, and they're looking at the world as a source of, motivation. The world is giving them the power, instead of them looking at the world and going, okay, now I see that's what the world is saying, so this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to respond to what the world is doing, instead of reacting to what the world is showing. And what happens there is, my suggestion to this is, if you're noticing yourself now starting to see the world objectively, this is a good time to get a coach. Because a coach really can't help you level up if you are going to be in the reactive and don't really value the objective. Emotions are our guide. And intuition, I actually, my special skill is to help you hone your intuition and intelligence in your business life. I had to spend a decade developing that in myself, and I'm not going to show you my process. I'm going to show you the system, and you're going to take it in your own pace and go with it. But it is doable. So this is something that is telling you, if you're doing that now, it's a good time to get a coach. It's a good time to pair up or partner with people that are going to see you and support you and cheerlead you and push you on towards your next level. Not push, but, help you create that plan, help you take it to the next level that you're ready for, but you have leveled up. Let's go there. All right. And then let's go to number 4. Number 4 is, no matter what the situation, you now have this innate system inside you. You're noticing that even though before you used to say yes to something, now you physically cannot say yes anymore. You've got your intuition telling you, hell no, this is not okay. I'm not going there anymore. And it's a hard no. You don't say yes first, you say no first. Do you feel that you are noticing yourself doing that? If you are, that means you have clarified your terms, your boundaries. And over here in Holistic Business and Life Mastery community, we're a big proponent of living your life on your own terms and also building a business that aligns to your terms. Your availabilities, your life circumstances, your budget, your target income. We help you create that on your own terms. And what this means is saying no to opportunities that other people may jump for, but if it's not aligned to you, your vision, your purpose, your mission, we say no comfortably. We'd rather have somebody else take that opportunity. And to do this, you have to have leveled up and noticed that, now I can see that. You can see that you have a huge faculty working within you, the intuition, but there's muscles working in your body that are saying, nah, won't go there, can't do this, won't do this. And there's so much more to this. First of all, congratulations. This is such an important faculty you have woken up in yourself It didn't happen by accident. Most likely, you have been living a good period of time in self-reflection, demanding more from your life and your business, your experiences, and you've leveled up by, you may have set an intention at one point saying, look, I want better for myself. And now it has manifested in your body. And now no one can come in and say, hey, you know what, this might be better for you. Your body is telling you, and this is, you've leveled up. And this falls under your identity having shifted into the identity of a high value professional or high value person. How are you gonna translate this very spiritual take away into practical business practice is by starting to set new terms and new rules and new values in your business and life. You're going to look at, well, now I know what I don't want. What do I want? You don't have to do this overnight. All it is you need to start becoming more present to that. And here for your business, in our Holistic Business Mastery and Empowered You, what we give you is the Wheel of Business, Wheel of Life. In fact, there is a downloadable, there's a downloadable document with this show. I want you to click the link and go ahead and download that assessment for yourself. And just score yourself and then define it for yourself as to what is it that you want. And then if you'd like an unpack with one of us, we'd love to have you set up a call with us and we'll give you that unpack session absolutely for free. Because it actually matters more now than ever before, because now you can see that your body is becoming your guide. It's partnering with you on this journey of leveling up further, and it's your partner now, it's no longer disconnected from you and your life decisions or your business decisions. So now that you can see that you say more no's than yes, now it's time to give that a path. You have to channel that into something meaningful. And that's how I did my life. I just keep listening to my yeses. I'm not so strategic other than that. Like, my decision to stay in business is an intuitive decision. And I just keep finding evidence in my life, in my business. I can see why I don't work with certain people, why I work with certain people, why I'm so good at certain things and what I'm not so good at. It is intuition, but then it has to be channeled. And we have that system for you. We can start with the download. So what's number 5? The final one is you do value your time and energy. And what I mean by this, you can see that you are an investment. You can see that your business is an investment. If you haven't listened to our chat with Arun, the financial expert, you should go and check out that episode. I'll link it here. If you go watch it, you'll start to notice what we talk about with what happens when you do receive the money. What do you do with it? So when you get the money, what happens to it? Most people, when they don't have a plan for the money, what happens is it just gets spent. So if you are looking to increase your income, well, you need to have a plan how to invest it, how to make it grow into bigger amounts. Unless you see yourself and your business as investments, you're always going to be in the spender or the consumer's mindset. So again, we go back to the identity. of being a consumer versus a creator is someone that is investing in themselves, investing in their business to create more of what's already working. And one of the very cool things about being in business is that we get to make those decisions that are so good for us. Like, I don't know if you've ever worked for a company or been in, you've been an employee. A lot of those choices are taken away. You are trading your time for money, which is great. I'm not saying that that is not right. All it is that you don't have the mindset of an investor. You don't take chances with that money. You invested in property, you invested in shares, you invested in safe investments. That's good. As a business owner, who is running the business? You. You are the biggest asset. You are the main asset first. So you develop yourself by investing in yourself, have the breakthroughs to be able to level up your business. Yeah. So that's level one investment. And if you've read any Robert Kiyosaki, if you've read any Dan Locke, they've written some great money books that you can, even Susan Orwell, I believe, Denise Duffield Thomas, all of these people that have gone from zero to multimillionaires in a very short time as 10 years, they've all talked about this, that the first investment is you. When you don't invest in yourself, you're seeing everything as an expense because you're thinking like a consumer. But as a business owner, your identity is the investor's. The highest identity is the investor's identity. Now, of course, there's more to be said about this. I'm not a financial advisor, but what I have learned on my journey is what you give your attention to gets your energy. So if you want to grow your money, guess what? You have to think like an investor. If you want to grow your investments, you need to pay attention to what you're investing in. If you're not investing, what I mean by this is, you may or may not have heard my earlier episodes, but I used to think of everything as an expense. So I would buy resources like stationery just for the next month or next quarter. That's as far as I'd think. But once I started to shift in my identity, then I started seeing, well, I would be saving more anyway if I bought a whole year's worth. Plus, I'm thinking a whole year's a year ahead. So that means, I'm thinking of investing now to get the best returns. And it started with that, with small things like that. But then I started saving toward making investments. Okay? And that grew into other habits. Then I started paying to invest in myself. Even your education, you invested in yourself to start this business. But you probably don't see it like that. You probably saw it as a student, as a consumer mindset, where you were a student who consumed a lot of information and now you're ready for the workforce so some other people can consume you. But you are still in the consumer mindset where you are still looking to buy things only and not really paying attention to what you're buying that can actually make you make more of or get more return on your buying. So whatever you're buying, if you're buying knowledge from people that have done the work before you, and then you're leveraging, that's an investor's mindset. Versus a consumer mindset is like, yeah, I'll buy a 6-week pre-recorded course. I'll just sit there and do it at my own time. Again, you're sitting and doing courses. So one of the things that we do differently here is that we actually have some pre-recorded content, which is necessary for you to have. We've got assets inside the learning portal, but we give you time. for you to implement stuff. We give you time to do it. Create your own assets. And this is something that took a long time to develop for me, but now I see a lot of people do it right away because they get it now. So that's why I wanted to bring this to your attention. If you see that you've started valuing your time and energy, and it's showing up as you are actually seeing that, there's something called a return on investment. I need to be focusing on what's the return I'm getting in my investing my time and energy. You might be noticing that right now, and that's a telltale sign you've leveled up. But if you think back to a time when you were just like, I'm a free agent, I'm just going to give my time and energy to everyone that I love. It's the way I show love. I do love people. I love doing what I do. Hey, my own story, if I tell you, you'll be laughing too, okay? And it's not funny anymore, because it wasn't funny after a year in. I said, hey, I can't last like this. If I just keep doing this, I'm not going to get anywhere. My return on my investment is so low, maybe even deficit. As a business owner, as someone that needs to level up, that's the first thing you notice. It's like, well, something's not adding up. What I'm putting in is not returning anything. Okay? So those are the 5 telltale signs that you have leveled up. Your awareness is so good now, and what you need to do next is, my friend, go and download that business health check worksheet. It's a couple of pages, but it's fun. It's going to give you an insight into how you're doing, and then it's going to give you a chance to do an unpack with a business coach at my business, and you can contact us directly via email and take it from there. But first, go and download that from the link below and enjoy it. This is, you've earned it. You've not just got in here by accident. You deserve all the support to keep going. And I believe you've got a lot of potential in you that we'd love to water and help you grow faster, bigger, so you can help more people and have immense impact what you were born to do. Okay, thank you so much for listening in, and if you have any comments, feedback, please share it with people that you know, and also like, subscribe and follow our channels so that other people like you can join our community. Really appreciate you being here. Big love, and I'll talk to you soon.